Good evening and welcome to Cooking with Kids.
Tonight is pork chops and applesauce.
Pork chops and applesauce. Actually, it's going to be apple compote, but the kids can have applesauce if they want. We're also making roasted red potatoes and sauteed green beans. Okay. Now, compote is a mixture of fruits, and we're making an apple compote, which is diced apples, as you see here.
And the water is to make it not brown.
That's right. You put it in water so it doesn't get brown. The same that you do with avocados. We're using one whole apple, and we're using a half an onion. This is more than half an onion, so I'm not going to use all of it. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to get the compote started first, or we are. So I'm going to drain it out. Gabe?
Yeah?
He's going to put a little bit of oil in that pan by the refrigerator.
Crazy!
Don't pour like that. Don't pour like that.
What?
Just hold it like this and tip it in. There you go. Okay, stop. There you go. Okay, about a tablespoon of oil. Approximately, I'm using olive oil, but you can use whatever oil you like. You can even use butter if you want. So here's our apples and onions.
So you come over here.
Put our
The apples in there. It's going to taste good.
Put that in the sink, please. Can you see the pan, Isabel?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going to use a half an onion. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
Put about a half an onion in there.
There we go.
Should be able to hear it sizzling now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to back up.
Okay.
Just in case, you know.
Okay. So, got that started now. The seasoning for the compote is a little salt. I'd say about a teaspoon.
You can't even see it going.
It's okay, about a teaspoon of salt. Give him the pepper back there. And then some coarse ground black pepper.
Put it in.
Maybe a half a teaspoon or so. Get that back over. I'm going to use a little nutmeg. About a quarter of a teaspoon. A little bit of ginger. Another quarter of a teaspoon. And then some cloves. About a quarter of a teaspoon.
Cloves?
Yep. Now you could also use cinnamon or allspice if you want in place of those spices. Just depends on what you want and what you like as flavoring. I'm going to go ahead and toss these a little bit.
Yeah.
As you can see, there's a lot of liquid already because the apples have a lot of liquid in them.
Yeah.
And they were soaking in water.
Yeah.
So.
But he mostly drained the water out.
Yes. Yes, we did. And we'll just use that as our stirring spoon.
Put that there.
Not too high. Just high enough. Keep it on a low
Temperature.
low sizzle, low temp. Okay, next.
Yes.
Now for your pork. Today we're using boneless pork chops, but you can use bone-in if you want. Those are fun because you can grab the bones and gnaw on them. And what we're doing is
Boneless.
I'm just tenderizing them with this, which kind of looks like a hair pick, but
Yeah, it's not. But it's not.
I can't remember where I got it. I think it was my grandfather's. But you can use a fork if you want. Grab a big fork. Here. Grab one.
Like that.
And you just stab it.
Gabe, I want to stab one.
Okay, well. Okay, then after you stab it.
I want to stab one.
Okay, you hold the camera so you both can stab. Be careful.
Not too much as well.
Okay, then after you
Stabby.
stab them real good, you put on some pepper.
Okay, it's about
Okay, that's good.
Stabby.
Add a little salt. And if you don't have, you back on the camera? If you don't have your own, who's on the camera? You're on for now. So let's see that. We'll switch back.
I don't want there.
You don't want the hat? Okay, that's fine. Okay, keep your eye on the screen then, son. So you can watch what we're doing. Hi. Okay, so a little salt and pepper. And if you don't have your own shakers, I got these at Trader Joe's. Use them until they're done, and then you can toss them. They're really nice. They'll recycle them. And Isabel is over here helping. Now, so we got those tenderized. What we're going to do now is put a little bit of olive oil on them. And I put my finger over the top, 2 fingers, so it drizzles. Just drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. Kind of rub it in. Same thing on the other side. Drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. Okay. Then, hey, are you helping with me? Okay, next. Wash my hands. Now, we will put the pork chops in the pan over here. Let's check on our compote. Looking pretty good. Give it a stir. Nope, lost an apple.
Oops. Where'd we go? Oh.
Well, it's more like a tiny piece of an apple, like a chunk.
It hits the ground, goes in the garbage.
Yeah.
Dad, what's compote?
Compote is fruit mixed with spices. You can make it as a dessert. This we're gonna make. Put it on our pork chops. Okay. Now, Isabel, you want to help put this in the pan? The pork chops.
Picture.
Okay, you take that and this.
Ah.
That's one. Grab a pork chop and put it in the big pan on the back.
Like the back one?
Yep, the one on the back. Slap it on in there. There you go. Gotta get it off to the side though. You got a nice hot pan. Make room for the other one. Okay. And one more there. Okay, now our pork chops are in.
We mostly took over all the steaks.
Good. No. That's dirty. Okay. Now, so there's our pork chops. There's our compote. They're going to go on top of the pork chops. Alright? Looking pretty good. And now that we're about halfway cooked on the compote. Just for fun, sweeten it up a little. Going to add a little bit of honey. So I'd say about a tablespoon of honey.
Honey.
Okay? Mix that in. You don't have to add the honey if you don't want to, but we're going to do it. Is it good? Okay. Now, the potatoes we did earlier. And we're using roasted red potatoes. So here's the red potatoes. And what I did was, for roasted potatoes, you cut up the potatoes and cut them all to the same size. And then get yourself a bowl. Put a little oil in it, and then put in the spices you want. I use parsley, salt, pepper, and paprika. Toss it all together. Garlic is good too. Garlic is good. Toss it all together, and then you put it on a sheet pan, or a pizza pan, or a cookie sheet. And you put it in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes. And you get delicious little potatoes just like this.
And it's really good if you have ketchup with it.
Yeah, good with ketchup.
Yeah, awesome.
I like this deal.
But you would at least have to let it cool down before you eat it.
Okay, so our compote's looking just about done.
Dad, have
I'm going to turn the heat down.
Have you ever tried this yet?
No.
No.
No, that's good. So I'm going to turn the heat down on the compote. Are you looking at this? Follow us? Follow us. So the compote is on, and the pork chops are on. We're going to crank up the heat just a little bit on the pork chops. Let's look at the pork chops here. You can see the oil is nice and glazed down there. And let's pry one up and take a look. You might have to poke it a little. I'm using cast iron.
He's poking it.
You can use whatever pan you want, and if you want to, you can use you can do it in the broiler as well. The broiler's pretty quick. Now when your meat looks like it's starting to shrink up a little, you see it's kind of tightening, coming in, it gets smaller. And usually you'll see a little blood coming out too. Oh, look at that, nice and brown.
Whoa!
You flip it and
So that's still alive.
No, it's not.
number 2. And then number 3 here. Wow, not quite brown, but still looking good.
Yeah.
So let's keep this going. Okay, our compote looking pretty good over here. Ta-da. Now, I showed you the roasted potatoes, showed you the pork, showed you the apple compote. Now the last thing is we're going to cook some sauteed green beans. And I got a hot pan ready.
And over there are the green beans.
Over here are the beans, and what I did, oh, come on, come on.
Lord.
There's something called blanch and shock. What I did was I cooked the beans ahead of time. I boiled them until they're soft. Yeah, those beans. They're soft. They're already cooked. But you can, that way the saute time is a lot slower. Hey, don't do that. Okay.
But it's easy besides. I saw you on the cam.
Okay. Here.
I want another.
Are you watching?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, cameraman. Okay, now I'm going to use butter. Because I like butter. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little olive oil in first. And then I'll add butter later because butter is delicious.
Yeah, it's good with bread and mornings.
And pie.
Okay, so our beans are on. We put that in the compote. I got a little water in there. So it's splattering, and I got a splatter guard. We're going to get splattered too bad.
Shut out.
And this is my lazy helper, Isabel. Alright. So, pork is going, beans are going, compost going, potatoes are done. Now all we need for the beans is some salt and pepper. And a little salt. About a teaspoon or so. And a little pepper.
Can't even see it.
About a half a teaspoon. We're going to do a little tossing. Our pork is looking good.
Dad, don't you think you will want to turn that fire down just a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you, Gabriel.
You're welcome.
Okay, now,
Now some butter.
Listening to the siblings.
add a little butter to the beans for flavor.
Flavor.
Flavor, big time flavor. Whatever.
What are you adding?
Butter.
Butter.
To the beans. Butter beans. Butter beans.
Butter. Don't make it hit me.
Good.
Dad,
Pork is
have
looking
you
pretty
ever
good.
ate this?
Yeah.
And why do we need the beans?
The way we're eating it, because that's the vegetable we go with our meal. Usually you have a meat, a vegetable, and a starch. And the starch can be rice, or potatoes, or pasta.
Wow.
But we're having potatoes.
That's right, we're having potatoes tonight.
Yay.
Now, take a look at our pork. It's looking pretty good. It's hard to tell if it's done.
Yeah.
So,
And it hurts your finger.
an easy way to tell is take your knife, cut
Cut
into
one.
it a little bit in the center, at the deepest part, and then pry it apart.
You can see
As you
it.
can see, it's a little juicy in there still, and just a little bit raw. So it's got a couple more minutes to cook. So we'll just let it go for a little bit longer. Okay. Our compote looking done. So I'm going to turn the heat up on that. And just let it sit.
I heard Sarah.
The potatoes are done.
Sarah.
Okay. Our beans are looking pretty done. They're looking delicious. So all we're waiting on right now is our pork. Let's go ahead. Get our plates out. Really gonna grab my silverware?
Silverware?
Okay.
Already silverware? I mean, we are quick.
3/4, 3.5. You watching the screen, Gabe? As the cameraman? You want to switch with Isabel?
No, I'm good. I'm actually watching. I'm keeping it still.
Okay.
Just looking at you.
Okay.
Pork
Pork.
chops.
I believe our pork
And
is done.
applesauce.
I'm going to let the pork keep cooking. I'm going to dish up the rest of everything else. So, let's start with the beans.
Oh my
Some
god.
buttery. Salt and pepper. Beans. Okay. The beans. There's a little butter on there. Hey, just stop. Hold on. Don't do that. Just wait. Okay, potatoes. No. Put them all together. Throw them back together. The potatoes. And then finally, the piece de resistance is the pork. A nice pork chop on there. Right there. And then we'll put a little bit of compote on each one of them. Like so.
I want applesauce.
You can have applesauce, but you have to try this. Okay, don't do that.
Gabe does it all by himself.
Okay.
What? I just do it on this thing. Look.
I want to try.
Okay, guys. Hey, you watching the camera for us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Isabel, come here.
I only did 2 cracks on it.
Here you go. Here's our meal. A lovely pork chop,
Wait,
roasted potatoes,
no,
and
it's
green beans. We'll take a little bite here.
not. Choking.
Cut into this sucker.
Beans.
Pork chops and applesauce.
Pork chops and applesauce. Look at that.
Wow, that is
Lovely
so
piece
good.
of pork.
Especially the pork looks like it's from McDonald's with the salad. Cause
McDonald's.
yeah,
Hey,
that
Isabel,
pork
here.
it kind of looks like it's from McDonald's.
Is it hot?
Ha,
Hot.
She's girlfriend.
Okay, we're gonna blow it with the apples. No, eat the whole thing. Camera, you watching the screen? Okay. Okay, now you work the camera so Dave can try.
Spicy.
What's the pepper? Here, no, this for you. You need an apple.
I need milk.
Oh, you can.
I need milk.
Tell the people what you think.
Hmm?
Good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I want to do a dance for goodness.
Okay, there you have it.
Hey, I want to do my dance.
I'll hold the camera. Okay, now we have Isabel doing the Macarena and Gabriel doing the rabbit ears.
I'm thirsty.
Okay, guys, say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. This has
I'm
been
cooking with kids.
this has been Cooking with
I like
Kids,
pie.
and Isabel likes pie. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. We'll see you next time. Night night.